Hola,
Hola,
soy Tom.
Soy Lucy.
soy Evie.
Y soy Ryan.
Buena Pregunta presents Spanish idioms and sayings. Right, today we are going to be talking to you about some Spanish idioms. Because why not? Who doesn't love an idiom? I know you do, don't you, Lucy? No? Nothing? Oh well, let's get into the video. Right, I'm going to start us off. So, for me personally, my favourite Spanish idiom would definitely be estar en tu salsa. It literally means to be in your sauce, but obviously that's not going to be the actual English meaning, as that doesn't really mean anything in English. So the actual English meaning is to be in your element, like when you're doing something that you really enjoy, something that's really you. I quite like it because it's, well, as most idioms are, something that isn't translated literally. I find it quite. I find the image quite amusing of being in your sauce. Yeah, I like that one. Right, I'm back. Quick costume change. Happy St George's Day. Come on, England. And basically, the second Spanish idiom that I quite like a lot, really, is estar entre la espada y la pared, which literally means to be caught between the sword and the wall. No, not that wall. Yeah, that'll do. But obviously, again, like the last one, it's not really a saying you hear a lot in English. So the English idiom that kind of corresponds to it would be to be caught between a rock and a hard place. Like when you've got a big problem, and whatever you do doesn't really fix the problem. It's when you're in a really difficult situation. So, Lucy, said earlier you like a few idioms. Well, what are your favourite ones?
Muchas gracias y también gracias por preguntarme, Tom. En serio, es una buena pregunta. I think, in general, my favourite idiomatic phrase today would be matar dos pájaros de un tiro. And this means to kill two birds with one stone. And you know, it's used quite often, it's quite a popular one. It's really good to like explain the situation, like if you're literally killing two birds with one stone, you know, like doing two things at once kind of thing. You all know what it means. But I just like that. It's good to add into a writing if you ever do, like, you know, any register it could fit. Just pop it in there. And secondly, I like the phrase ser un bonbon, and this is very informal, so probably stick to like a diary entry for this one. And it means to be like really fit, like peng, good looking. The literal translation is like to be eye candy. But yeah, I just like that one. It's like really sweet. Obviously it's a bit of slang, so it's a bit more unique, a bit more fun to use. And yeah, they're my two favourite idiomatic phrases. Glad I could enlighten you all. And now I think I'd like to ask Evie. Evie, what are your favourite idiomatic phrases today? Or pretty sure you've got a good few good ones there.
Ja, 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 ja. Thanks, Lucy. My favourite idiomatic expression is probably salir de Guatemala y meterse en Guatapeor, which, translating into English, would be to go from bad to worse. I think it's really clever the way they've played on the word Guatemala and the ending mala, meaning bad, and changed that to peor, meaning worse, by creating a new word, if that makes sense. I've used it in quite a few writings. Personally, I've never risked putting it in a formal piece of writing because I feel like it's quite an informal idiom. So blogs, diary entries, informal speeches, things like that, I would use it for. And then my next favourite, I couldn't decide which one was my most favourite, but it's encontrar tu media naranja, which means to find your half orange. And that in English would translate to like to find your better half or to find your other half. I think it's really cute that we're like, it means that we're basically being described as oranges, and that to find your other half, you find your half orange. And it reminds me of the Friends episode, I don't know if you've seen it, with Phoebe when she says to to find your lobster. It always reminds me of that, I don't know why. But again, I think that's quite informal. You could use that in a diary entry if you're saying like you met someone on a school trip or something, I don't know, and you felt you found your half orange. One thing to remember though with idiomatic expressions is these will obviously both put in the infinitive. Make sure that you also learn how to conjugate them because you can't always put them straight in the infinitive form. So yeah. What about you, Ryan? What's your favourite Spanish idiomatic expressions? Spanish, not Italian.
Thanks for the question, Avi, and buena pregunta. But for me, the answer's simple. My favourite idiom is ser pan comido. 3 words, super easy to remember, really useful, but also really easy to manipulate in your writing. It literally means to be very easy. So you can use it in so many examples. Great in diary entries. Today I found this super easy. This test was really easy. This exam was super easy. You can just chuck it in there. And for me, I enjoy it a lot because it holds deep sentimental value because it was the first idiom I actually knew. So that always helps. And again, 3 words. Super, super easy. Really easy to manipulate as well. Just ser. Nothing too hard. But yeah, very easy. Get some good marks as well. What can I say? It's a win-win situation and a perfect idiom you should use in your writing. You can use it in whatever, really. Even in a speech. You might have to try to incorporate it a bit, but have fun with it. Ser pan comido. That's my idiom. Cheers, guys.
Yeah, as Ryan said at the end there, cheers, guys. It's been good fun. Actually, Ryan, I got a little emotional there when you were talking about how it was the first ever idiom that you learned. You had sentimental value. I wish I could be attached to an idiom like that. It must be a really good feeling. And in fact, I think you've done so well that I think we're going to go back to you to outro the video. So back over to you, Ryan.
And thank you for watching our video. Smash like and subscribe. Oh, is it still recording?